Imagine this. A few years ago, you used to wait every month for your salary to arrive. Then the increment came, your designation changed, respect in the office increased, and your income went up too. You felt that now life would become easier, stress would reduce, your bank balance would become fatter, and your investments would grow faster. But a few months later, you looked at your account statement and got a shock. The salary had increased, but the savings had not. The feeling you used to have at the end of the month is still the same today. Only the names of the expenses have changed. Earlier it was local coffee, now it is a premium cafe. Earlier it was a simple phone, now you want a flagship model. Earlier weekends used to pass at home, now going out every weekend feels necessary. This is where the fear begins. Because many people do not become financially stronger even after their income rises. They just start living a more expensive version of the same life. And the curiosity is this: why does this happen? In the world of finance, this silent trap is called lifestyle inflation. In simple words, as earnings rise, the desire to upgrade one's standard of living also becomes stronger, and slowly the line between need and want starts to blur. This is not just a problem for rich people. It affects the middle class, the upper middle class, salaried professionals, young couples, urban employees, everyone. The SEBI Investor Survey 2025 shows that there has been a major shift in India's economy, household savings behavior, and formal financial participation. But along with that, consumption aspirations have also increased. The survey included household durables, affluence categories, and savings behavior as part of socioeconomic profiling, which clearly signals that lifestyle choices and financial behavior are now deeply linked. This problem is dangerous because it works like theft. It makes no noise, but quietly eats away at wealth creation. A person feels that they are progressing, but their net worth does not grow at the same speed. The SEBI Investor Survey 2025 also shows that India's household financial behavior is becoming rapidly more formal, but that does not mean every rise in income is automatically turning into wealth. Between 2015 and 2025, nominal GDP rose from 125 lakh crore to 331 lakh crore, and the role of household financial assets also increased. But this was also a period of rising aspirations and more formal access to consumption and investment. In other words, the earning environment has changed, but behavioral discipline does not come on its own. In reality, lifestyle inflation has a very deep connection with psychology. After a promotion, a person does not just want to earn more. They also want to look more successful. This is the point where social comparison begins. Someone in the office bought a new car. Someone took an international trip. Someone upgraded to an iPhone. Someone shifted to a premium housing society. And then we feel maybe now we should do the same too. Social media intensifies this feeling even more. Now you are not just comparing yourself with neighbors. You are comparing yourself with strangers. And this machine of comparison never shuts down. That is why satisfaction does not increase after salary rises. Expectations do. This emotional pressure does not appear in any inflation index, but the financial damage is very real. The most common beginning of lifestyle inflation happens through very small things. First, daily spending patterns begin to change. Coffee outside, food delivery, cab rides, subscriptions, branded shopping, gadgets, skincare, fitness memberships, premium experiences. Every single expense looks justified on an individual level. No one expense looks so large that it feels scary. But on a monthly level, these same expenses come together and hollow out the budget. And because the salary has increased, the guilt is also felt less. A person explains it to themselves. I work hard, I deserve it. This very word, deserve, often becomes the biggest enemy of wealth creation. Because there is a huge difference between deserved comfort and reckless spending. Its second stage is even more dangerous. Fixed lifestyle commitments. This is where the problem becomes serious. Like bigger rent, a bigger EMI, a car loan, premium school pressure, recurring luxury memberships, frequent vacations, high maintenance habits. Once these commitments get locked in, then when income slows down or job risk appears, that same lifestyle becomes a burden. The RBI has repeatedly emphasized credit discipline, repayment planning, and emergency preparedness in its financial awareness material. The reason is this: when income looks stable, people take on long-term liabilities, but future certainty is never guaranteed. Today the job is there, tomorrow it may not be. Today the bonus is there, tomorrow it may get cut. But the decisions made under lifestyle inflation are usually permanent in nature. That is why lifestyle inflation does not just reduce savings, it increases risk. If your salary rises by 30%, but your expenses rise by 25%, then technically you may look richer, but practically you are not safer. You do not build an emergency fund, your investments do not grow meaningfully, insurance planning keeps getting delayed, and your retirement corpus gets left behind. In a worst-case situation, the moment job loss or a health emergency arrives, reality gets exposed. Then you realize that an expensive life was actually a fragile life. The real purpose of money is to give freedom, But lifestyle inflation turns money into an obligation instead of freedom. It is important to understand India's current inflation environment in this story too. According to MOSPI's January 2026 CPI release, headline inflation was 2.75%. This number sounds controlled, but the issue of lifestyle inflation is different from official CPI. CPI tells us about broad price rise, whereas lifestyle inflation is self-imposed expense rise. In other words, inflation in the economy may be 2.75%, but inflation in your personal life can be 15% or even 25% if you have aggressively increased cafe culture, gadgets, rent, vehicle, fashion, eating out, and leisure spending. That is the reason many people look at macro data and say inflation is under control, but still feel their life has become very expensive. Many times the inflation is not outside. It has been created inside. Now the question is, how do you avoid it? The first and most powerful method is self-awareness. The day your salary increases, decide that the entire increment will not go into upgrading your lifestyle. A very practical rule is that a major part of the increment, say 50% to 70%, should be diverted into automatic investment. This is not an emotional solution, it is a structural one. Because if the money remains in your account first, the mind will find expenses for it. But if that same money goes straight into SIPs, RDs, debt funds, PPF, NPS, or some disciplined investment route the moment the salary is credited, then lifestyle inflation does not get any oxygen. The SEBI Investor Survey 2025 shows the growing importance of formal financial participation and structured household financial behavior. That is exactly what makes automation even more relevant at an individual level. The logic of automation is very simple. Reduce decision fatigue. Do not decide every month whether you want to save or not. Build a system in which saving happens first and spending happens later. This is one of the biggest secrets of wealthy households. They do not just earn more. They do not allow saving to remain optional. If a large part of the increment becomes invisible, meaning it goes into investments, then your lifestyle will naturally inflate at a slower pace. And that is what will allow you to build real net worth over the long term. Because wealth is rarely built from leftover money. Wealth is built from planned money. The second method is the 24-hour rule, and in many cases the 7-day rule too. Whenever you feel like buying something non-essential and expensive, a new phone, a branded watch, designer clothes, premium furniture, a luxury trip, do not make the payment immediately. Pause first. Give it 1 day. If the expense is big, give it 1 week. Very often, the urge that feels very strong today becomes weaker after some time. That happens because a large part of buying urge is emotion-driven, not need-driven. You may have noticed that many online purchases happen in excitement, not in logic. Delay filters the impulse to buy. This can reduce unnecessary spending significantly. The third method is to set a lifestyle ceiling. This does not mean you should never live a better life. It only means that with every jump in income, it is not necessary to upgrade every area. You can decide that this year you will increase spending only on health and learning, but not on gadgets and fashion. Or you will improve travel, but not upgrade the car. Or you will keep the same rent, but increase investments. Only when a person sets a conscious ceiling does money move in a direction. Otherwise, money runs by default toward comfort, convenience, and display. Money without direction almost always turns into lifestyle inflation. The fourth method is to recognize FOMO. Fear of missing out is one of the biggest financial problems of today's salaried class. Social media has made ordinary life look boring and luxury life look normal. Today, if your colleague is posting stories about Goa, Dubai, Bali, Europe, brunches, gadgets, sneaker drops, and luxury dining, you start feeling as if you are being left behind. But the truth is that social media does not show you someone's EMI, it does not show you their credit card bill, it does not show you their stress, and it certainly does not show you their savings rate. You compare your real life with someone else's highlights and then end up spending impulsively. Financial maturity means not just earning, but controlling comparison too. The fifth method is to check your emergency fund with every salary hike. If your lifestyle cost is rising, then your safety buffer should also increase proportionately. Suppose your monthly expense was 40,000 earlier and now it has become 65,000, then your 6-month emergency fund cannot remain what it was earlier. This is where many people make a mistake. They upgrade life, but they do not upgrade protection. No emergency corpus, no health cover review, no insurance adequacy, no liquidity planning. Then even a small problem turns into a financial crisis. The RBI's financial awareness messaging repeatedly emphasizes that households should maintain preparedness in financial decisions, especially for debt and unexpected situations. The sixth method is to track your net worth monthly, not just your salary. Salary creates an illusion. Net worth shows reality. A salary rising to 1 lakh, 2 lakh, or more may sound impressive. But if your investments are not increasing, liabilities are rising, and your cash balance is weak, then your financial story is not as strong as it looks. At the end of the month, do not just see how much you earned. Also see how much your assets increased, how much debt reduced, and at what speed your investments are being built. Lifestyle inflation makes salary look like success, but net worth exposes the truth. The seventh method is to understand the difference between joy spending and mindless spending. This is a very important distinction. Money is not meant only for saving. Better food, occasional travel, family comfort, convenience for parents, learning, health, experiences. These are all meaningful expenses. The problem is not luxury. The problem is unconscious luxury. If you planned one good trip in a year thoughtfully, that is one thing.
But if you start taking impulse-based escape trips, dining out, shopping, and upgrades every month, then that is lifestyle inflation. Healthy finance does not mean becoming a monk, it means becoming intentional. Enjoy life, but do not enjoy it on autopilot. The eighth method is to see a salary hike not as a life upgrade, but as a financial reset. An increment should not mean only a better phone or a bigger car. It is an opportunity to realign your goals. Did retirement investing increase? Did support for your parents improve? Did you start a child fund? Did you build a home down payment corpus? Did your emergency reserve become stronger? If the answers to these questions are no, but subscriptions, travel, and shopping have increased, then understand that lifestyle inflation has already started working quietly. That is the reason some people build wealth even on a modest salary, while others live paycheck to paycheck even on a high salary. The difference lies not only in income but in direction. And finally, the most important thing, lifestyle inflation is not an evil word. It is a warning signal. It tells us that if behavior is not managed along with rising income, then money may make us feel rich, but it cannot make us financially free. Real progress happens when salary rises and the savings rate rises with it. Investment discipline becomes stronger, the safety net becomes stronger, and stress slowly starts reducing. If even after a salary increase the bank balance is empty, investments are weak, and future uncertainty remains, then there has been a promotion, not prosperity. So the next time you get an increment, ask yourself one question. Am I upgrading my life, or am I just upgrading my expenses? That one question will decide the path of your future wealth.
If this video has taught you something new, or if you feel this information should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video. Your small share can become valuable and useful information for someone else. If you have any questions related to this topic, or if you would like to share your opinion with us, be sure to write in the comment box. We read every question and suggestion from you, because your feedback inspires us to create better content. And if you want to keep receiving such interesting and reliable information about business, the economy, and the world in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel GRT Business and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video directly. At GRT Business, we always strive to provide you with accurate, balanced, and reliable information. Our news and analysis are prepared based on information obtained from various news agencies, public sources, and public opinion. We make every effort to verify and validate each fact as much as possible, but in case of any possible error or dispute, the responsibility lies with the respective sources. Our only aim is to present you with a correct and trustworthy perspective so that you can understand any topic better.